Welcome to another episode of Nazhoen Speaks. Can you tell us your name, your hobbies, and then complete this line? My go-to emoji is dash.
My name is Pamayangso, and my hobby is judo as of now, and my go-to emoji is a white heart.
I feel like everyone has their own emoji which matches with their vibe, right?
Yeah.
So this is Nazhoen Speaks, a space where young voices are heard, where real stories matter, and where future of the town speaks to its youth. Today, we will be diving into various topics that really matter to young people, starting from social media trends to TikTok challenges, mental health, stress, and even climate change. Let's get started. Speaking of the emojis and the online vibes, let's talk about something which we know, we Gen Z and Alpha knows, which is social media, right?
Yeah.
From TikTok to Reels to the trending memes, I feel like these things are changing the way we communicate and connect with others, right? So, do you watch TikTok or Reels a lot? Like, how long do you actually spend scrolling through your phone?
I think altogether I spend at least 3 to 4 hours on the screen. I think
That's
that's a
great.
lot. Yeah, in a day.
And what do you think about screen time? Is it something you try to control it or you just go with the flow?
Screen time, it definitely should be controlled. And it's not just, it's kind of a mix of both. So my mom also, she helps me try to control my screen time. And it's not so hard for me, so I can go with the flow.
So these days, do you go out with your family, friends, or are you just on your bed, lying down, playing with your gadgets?
So bed rotting. Yeah, I do that a lot actually. But every weekend I try to go out with my friends. Well, not try, it just happens naturally. We go out, play sports, sleepovers, a lot of notorious things. It's yeah, I go out a lot, very frequent.
Oh, that's really nice. And what sports do you usually play?
Usually I do judo, but when I'm with my friends, I do a little bit of everything. So like sometimes swimming, basketball, badminton.
Nice, interesting. And what kind of stuff does your algorithm usually shows you?
Okay, so
TikTok,
the
yeah.
algorithm, it's based on what I have interest in at the moment. So usually it's just funny clips, memes, cooking, fitness videos, but the algorithm will feed me what I want to see at that particular moment.
And talking about social media, it's crazy how it's been changing from the way we talk, right? So recently I read an article that says the words like skibidi, dililu, and great wife has been recently added to the Cambridge dictionary, and don't you think it's crazy? And
It is.
yeah, and it really shows how TikTok and the Gen Alpha's culture are shaping the English language these days. So, do you actually use these words with your friends, cousins, or families?
Yes, I do, but it's just a few words that we use because they have a direct meaning. At first, it would be used because it's funny, but now it's kind of normal.
Yeah.
It just naturally comes in our conversation. But most of them that we see online, you can't really use it in a conversation because then it sounds very cringe or corny, as we might say.
Yeah, and the older generation won't be able to understand this kind of languages, right? So, do you when internet languages like this ends up in the dictionary, do you think it makes some sense, or do you think it's more of fun, creative, or it's confusing?
I think it's a fun and creative way to language because it's keeping our language alive and it's like every generation adds its own touch to the dictionary. So I feel like, well, older people might have a tough time understanding, but it all comes with, it comes to how the internet influences how we talk, like you said at the beginning.
Yeah. And what is the famous slang words you and your friends use while having a conversation?
Me and my friends, I think we use the word W a lot. Yeah, so it's like a positive feedback. So if you tell me your music taste and I like it, I'd be like, oh, W music taste. So nice music taste.
Yeah, I'm hearing this for the first time. And finally, do you think the older generations can understand these words?
Older generations, I think, would have trouble understanding or would just misunderstand it completely. I noticed some parents know learn these languages or words from their children or from their grandchildren. That's pretty cute, but it's like every generation has their own secret code language.
Yeah, and like social media can be super fun and creative, but it can also affect us mentally, like right? Like it can change how we feel and how we talk. So there's a research done by WHO, World Health Organization, which says that 1 in 7 young people, that's about 14%, experiences that mental health disorder, and it's mostly depression, anxiety, and the behavioral changes. So does that statistic surprise you?
No, that statistic does not surprise me actually, because a lot of kids are now glued to the screen and we're usually just using these slang words and
Yeah.
everything. So I think that statistic really fits what I see around me.
Yeah, it has become like a trend right now. So do you think young people in Bhutan talk about mental health a lot?
That's a great question, actually. So, yes, but just not enough. We're getting there, but a lot of kids, or mostly the youth, still feel embarrassed or shy to talk about it because they feel that it's not spoken about and just feel like it's not that serious of a topic. And because of the social stigma that therapists and counselors are for people that are mentally ill, which it's really not. I have a therapist, she's awesome, and you can just get a therapist if you need someone to talk to. So it's normal. We just need to not fear being judged by the society at this topic. So we're getting there.
Yeah, and it's okay to have this kind of issues with you because you have someone to talk with, right? So what do you think would help most? Counseling, your friends, your family, conversing with your family? What do you think?
I think the most important and most effective is actually conversations with your family or parents because, well, they're first of concern. And when your parents listen to you, they listen without judging. Second could be counseling, but maybe some people find it weird to just approach someone you've never known and just start trauma dumping. And so maybe for more introverted people, you could try online spaces, but that needs to be safe and positive rather than toxic and judgmental. But well, those are not just limited choices. There's more, like journaling. It helps you declutter your brain. You can write down what you're feeling in the moment. It helps you know yourself better.
And I also used to maintain myself a personal diary to write everything I like feel I experience in a day. So that really helps a lot. And if you could design one program to help young people's mental health, what would it be?
If I had a program, I would like to make it a free space rather than to make it seem like such a serious therapy session. I want to make it trustworthy, have children open up and not fear judgment. I want to make it a space where you can talk openly about mental health.
That's a really nice program. And finally, let's talk about something that affects us, which is global warming, right? And lately, the Himalayan regions has been affected by the heavy rainfall, right? You must have experienced the recent thunder, lightning here in Bhutan, right? That really affected some people, even in Nepal, even in Darjeeling, it had affected a lot of people. So, as a young person, what do you think? What do you understand about climate change? Do you know how climate change is being caused?
Yes, I do know how climate change is being caused. It's from burning fossil fuels, deforestation. We learn these at school. Well, in general, it's just the earth heating up. And it used to be known as something that's in the future, but now we are seeing this as we're speaking. So it's that's what hits me.
Yeah, and that's gonna affect our generation. So, what are the small things we can do to help the environment?
I think small things, they would only matter if you're consistent with them. So you got to keep doing them instead of just doing it for the sake of it. Like, because it's Environment Day at school, you're just doing a huge cleanup and then you just stop. You need to make it a habit. You gotta keep up with this. For example, let's say picking up your bottles or saving energy. Most of it just lasts maybe like a week or two just because we're doing it, everyone's doing it. I feel like if you're gonna do it, you need to be consistent. Basically, what I'm saying is you gotta do small things consistently rather than doing one big thing at once.
Yeah, very true. And from a young person's perspective, how can the government involve young people to fight the climate change?
I think if the government wants to involve or have young children help out to fight climate change, they should be giving the youth real responsibilities. Not something like, okay, we're gonna plant a tree today and then we're gonna record it grow. Like, not something like that. Maybe I think a really good idea would be inter-school competitions on to see which school has collected more waste or to see who has reduced more waste. So that would be great because I see it this way: the more it matters or the more it affects you or how personal it gets is when we actually start contributing because it's getting personal.
Yeah, very true. And let's say you got a chance to run a campaign or a club to help the environment. So what would you call it? What would you call your campaign and what kind of things would you do in your campaign?
My camp, I would call it Eco Steps because it's about taking small steps that actually have a huge effect with time. So, like I mentioned earlier, rather than doing a huge cleaning campaign at once, I want to do things where we do small, let's say energy saving week or yeah, just things like that, but keep up with it and track progress so that we know how, if it's helping or basically one small step at a time and make it a habit to get there rather than a huge cleaning campaign and then we just stop after one day because we just did it for the sake of it.
So what will be the things, what will be the steps or the things or the program you will be planning for your campaign?
I would like to make it challenging, like challenges and be like, okay, whoever can do this. Because I think, especially the youth, we're very competitive nowadays. So the more involved you are in these things, that's when you give more. So make it a challenge, rewarding, because also maybe workshops on explaining how climate change is now affecting us and it's going to affect our future.
That brings us to the end of our episode. So would you like to share something with your viewers?
Yes, two things actually. First, about mental health. Do not feel shy or embarrassed to talk about mental health. It's normal. Everyone has issues with it. We all need someone to talk to sometimes. Even I do. Even she does. And second thing is, don't believe everything you see on the internet because we end up comparing ourselves a lot to people on the internet sometimes. A lot, actually. So just be yourself.
And that's a wrap for today's conversation on the topic that matter to young people. A big thank you to Ms. Pimot Yangto, and keep speaking, keep sharing, and keep shaping the baton you want to see. Until next time.